I'm Doug Haney, Executive Director of Polyphony Music Resources, and I want to welcome you to this session, 5 Ways to Use the Harmony Project. I'm glad you're part of the Polyphony community, and as far as I'm concerned, if you're watching this video, you are part of our community. There are many benefits to belonging, connections with other church musicians who are in our network. We host an annual conference. This year, it was right here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, just south of Charlotte. And next year, our annual conference is already set for Thursday through Saturday, February 6th through 8th, Smoke Rise Baptist Church, Stone Mountain, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. We also offer a monthly Zoom call coordinated by my colleague Kyle Damron with really remarkable presenters. And those Zoom calls are archived on our website and our YouTube channel so that you can access them anytime. Now, to the Harmony Project. Well, what is the Harmony Project? And if you don't know, it is a research initiative that Polyphony conducted over the last 2 summers, summer of 2022, 2023, where we interviewed 100 church musicians, and we spent about an hour with them on a Zoom call and asked them, what do you need to thrive as you look at the decade ahead? From those conversations, we wrote, I and a colleague from Houston, Texas, and Bill Worley, co-authored a report that was a summary of our findings, and we have made this research available on our website free of charge. It's not behind a paywall. We want this to be helpful to as many people as possible. So today I want to speak to 5 ways that you might use this research, these research reports. First, I would encourage you to read it for yourself. I think it's so important to know that there are similar others. There are kindred spirits who are out there doing what you do, whose story may be very much like your story, that there is great joy in the ministry of church music, in making music to the glory of God in local congregations, but there are also incredible challenges. Our research reports, our findings do not flatten out the sharp edges of the reality of being a church music these days. So I offer that to you, and I encourage you to read the Harmony Project for yourself and hope that in doing so, you'll honestly be encouraged that you're not alone in this work. Secondly, I think it would be an interesting experiment to read the Harmony Project along with someone else, perhaps a prayer partner or a confidant, or maybe even in a coaching session where you allow the reports, these conversations that you're overhearing, to inform your own conversation about, well, how are you doing? I mean, how are you really doing these days where you are serving? Are you thriving? Are you just barely getting by? I think the research reports will validate your experience, but also perhaps give you some ideas about how to be proactive and to be an advocate for yourself. A third way you might consider using the Harmony Project is to, well, widen that conversation cohort a little more. What if you pulled together 3 or 4 or 5 colleagues who were close by and said, hey, I've got this Harmony Project report from Polyphony. Wonder if we could get together for lunch for, say, the next 3 months, once a month, maybe have lunch and then, talk about this report and talk about how it may help us thrive in our own places. It would be interesting to know, again, how those conversations develop. Do your stories align with the findings from the 100 interviews in the Harmony Project? And then how are your stories different? I think it would be really interesting to do that as the centerpiece for say, a peer learning group like this. A fourth way you might consider using the Harmony Project is in a conversation with your pastor or supervisor. Now, what you will see when you go to our website is the full report, and that's about 60 plus pages. There's also available an abridged report, 8 to 10 pages, and I think that's what you may want to use with a pastor or supervisor, and it may be a proactive way to create some conversation, to speak up for yourself, to talk about what your hopes and dreams are for your ministry and for the ministry of the church, and to make the case that if you are healthy and thriving, then you can add even more value to the staff team and to the health of a congregation. And the last thing I'll suggest, it may really vary depending on your situation. If you have direct access to a personnel committee, and not everyone does because churches handle this different ways, but if you are perhaps invited to come speak to the personnel committee once a year, again, you might take the abridged version of our report and share that with them in advance, and then use that as a way to help them understand more fully the world of church music and more specifically the work that you do. I do encourage you to be an advocate for yourself, and perhaps in some way the Harmony Project can show this is what the work of the music minister looks like in 100 other settings. And so there are 5 ways that you might consider using the Harmony Project: for yourself, with a prayer partner or coach, in a peer learning group, with pastor or supervisor, and then finally with the personnel committee, if that sort of thing is allowed. I hope you will read the Harmony Project, and I hope that it will be significant for you and meaningful. We pray that you will flourish in your life and ministry. I pray that you will remember your calling. I pray that you'll remember why you first began to become a church musician, and remember all the things that you love about it, even when days are challenging and hard. Let me invite you to take a step toward flourishing by becoming a more active part of Polyphony. If you're not on our email list, go to our website, polyphonyresources.org, and on our homepage, you can look at the top of the homepage and click on the button, Join Our List. We'll add you to our email list. We do not share our email list with any other organization, but you will begin to hear from us about opportunities like the monthly Zoom calls, like the annual conference next year. Or, if I can be of help to you, I love to have conversations, and I love to pray with you about the challenges that you face. If you want to send me an email, please do so. That's doug@polyphonyresources.org. Well, friends, breathe, bless, and be well.